talking about Nightwing number 52.
Nice. Sorry, Podcat is drinking.
No, it's fine. He's also being super crunchy, which is why I was laughing.
I was trying to cover my mouth so it wouldn't crunch.
I know, but... Alright.
We're a mess. It's been a long recording session. You don't know, you won't get it, but we've been there a while.
It's been a day. It's been 2 days, really.
Yeah.
My phone just
if we're being real about it,
yeah. Yeah, it's been 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nightwing, number 52. If y'all don't remember, Nightwing's not a thing anymore. Dick Grayson got shot in the head. He's now going by RIC Grayson. He doesn't remember anyone. He doesn't remember Babs. It's all really sad. It's all real sad.
Perspective.
It's all real sad. But this opens off by Rick on top of a building watching this ambulance carry this guy away on a gurney. In the last issue, he beat up this guy that pulled a gun on him, and his reflexes kicked in, not knowing.
All muscle memory.
Yeah, and he nearly kills the guy without even trying. And he didn't know what to do. He wasn't gonna drive him to the hospital in his cab, or try and save him himself, so he calls the police, and they come and help the guy out. And he's basically contemplating his life. He's like, I used to be this superhero, and apparently that's who I've been my entire life, but I don't remember any of that. I only remember my life in the circus. And so he starts walking off the building, and the edge starts to crumble. What's up?
I did go. Yeah. Sorry, side note here. Just got sidetracked. I was thinking in my head, I used to be the hero. Now why do I bother? Because I could never be as good as Jason Toddler.
What is happening?
I'm not sure.
It's it's a vitamin water commercial. But
okay, yeah. The water.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The water thing talking, but yeah, I was thinking of Nightwing was the water tank, or Rick, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was the water, yeah. And Jason Todd is the vitamin water. I'm sorry.
So he falls off the building.
Crunch.
Rick falls off the building, and again, natural reflexes kick in, and he acrobats it, so he's completely safe. And he's like, well, one thing I remember learning in the circus is that once you do a trick, you gotta follow a really good trick. You gotta follow it up with an encore. So he tries to flip off, and because he landed on a fire escape.
Right.
And he tries to flip off and land on the ground, and he just kind of falls onto his cab. And he's like, nope, that's Spider-Geddon. Whoa. He's like, note to self, you're not a superhero. So, and then we go to a coroner's office where Nightwing's, intel on the police department, who I haven't talked about because I didn't start talking about Nightwing until a couple issues ago, but he has a friend in the police department who, would help him with cases and whatever. Reluctantly, but would still help. She is helping examine a body who would appear to be drowned in his bed with no water around, which honestly reminded me of Tuxedo with Jackie Chan, if anyone else has seen that movie.
Yeah.
No.
The Tuxedo, it was a super suit.
Yeah.
Basically, it had Jennifer Love Hewitt.
No.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a Jackie Chan movie.
It was a super spy, basically.
Yeah,
and
but he wasn't a super spy. He just got someone else's dry cleaning, and he put on the suit, and then he became a super spy.
Yeah.
Anyways, not the point. So she takes a phone call and goes out into the hallway, and we see, because it has the two-way glass into the the coroner's, the morgue, and we see this gas come out of the body, explode out of the body,
Gas.
and transform or do something to the coroner, and he starts attacking the police officers that were in there, and
Was it Venom?
no,
Not we have Venom. I mean, it's like Bane's Venom.
no, it's fear toxin.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because
Same thing.
last issue we had a bunch of flashbacks to when Robin was helping Batman. Dick Grayson, Robin, was helping Batman fight against the Scarecrow. I think I touched on it a little bit. Scarecrow's fear was the boy with no fear.
Right.
The Robin, and he kept seeing Robins everywhere. So it's a tie-in of some sort. And yeah, so they end up shooting the glass and it gets the cop lady's attention, and she's like, "What the hell happened here?" Because she wasn't facing it, obviously, because she was on the phone, and kind of ends on that. That part just ends.
Wow.
And then Rick wakes up to a bunch of meowing. He's apparently squatting in this cat person's apartment, and I was like, "Wait, cat person? Like you don't like
Selena Kyle cat person?
like yeah, exactly." I'm like, is it?
She has relocated.
Yeah. So, but found out that apparently this cat lady, she got her, and he drove her to the hospital in his cab, and she was super nice and let him stay in her apartment as long as he fed the cats, who are always hungry, and he always needs to feed them.
Does that sound familiar? Podcast.
Yeah. And he's like, "I don't think I'm much of a cat person. I think I like dogs more. But cats all the time."
Oh, that might be an allusion to the fact that they had been like saying you got the wrong bat.
Yeah.
You chose the wrong one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh,
At the bachelorette party, where Jason Todd was bodyguard, and he was like, "Whatever, it's fine, it's fine." But so he leaves, and he's like, "What I like about this life is that when you wake up every morning, you don't know what's going to happen. There's no plans. You can just live." And then we go to the cop guy who found Nightwing's bunker in the subway system.
Ah, yes. After he burnt it.
After Rick. Woo! After Rick had burnt it to the ground. And he's apparently putting together a team of Nightwings, because there was multiple suits, and he's apparently been trying to be Nightwing for the last few nights, and it hasn't been working out. So he puts together people who he trusts the most, who he thinks will try and help save Bloodhaven, which is where all of this takes place, obviously.
It's kind of like Sons of Batman kind of thing. You know, that's crazy.
Batman Incorporated.
Yeah. Or Robins is also one. Like there was a team of Robins for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's like, "Will you help me save Bloodhaven?" And shows them like all the suits, and they're like, "Whoa, it's crazy." I'm like, "Okay, this is happening, I guess."
And that's the end of that book?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, there's so much more.
Okay, I'm like, wait.
There's not so much more. It's almost over. But I think I've mentioned this. Rick, his job right now is a cabbie, so he's just trying to get the streets back down because he doesn't know where anything is.
Right.
Because all he can remember is living at the circus, which isn't really a place where you can.
It's always on the move.
Yeah, set somewhere and be like, "Okay, this is where this is." So he's a cabbie. He drives people around, and he gets in his car or drops these people off, who are like, hey, did you take a picture of that hot cab guy? And he's like, yeah. The other person's like, yeah, hashtag hot cabbie, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's, wow, hashtags in real life.
Oh, yeah, because
Bloodhaven.
Dick Grayson is beautiful.
He's beautiful.
like in Teen Titans Go.
Yes.
He's got the chisel, like, takes off his mask and he's just all, like, chiseled and, like, super
Perfect.
good. Yeah,
Like,
perfect.
Beautiful. Yep.
A scoff in your general direction.
So he gets in and calls dispatch to tell people that, to tell everyone that he dropped whoever off and he needs a new ride. And dispatch doesn't reply, and instead he gets a call, basically saying help, and he recognizes it as his friend who originally got him into the cabbie business and helped him out, and who's apparently been assaulted 77 times since he became a cabbie. And
wow.
Yeah.
Life.
And cabbies are apparently the highest murder rate of any profession. I don't know if that's an actual statistic in real life or if it's just in Bloodhaven.
No, right? It sounds really Bloodhaven-y.
Yeah, but it could
you never
be real.
know in this crazy, crazy world.
Yeah.
Watch it. Bloodhaven is like a reference to Detroit.
I mean, well, they have a Detroit in the DC universe, which is I don't know where anything is in any sort of form of map. Gotham is in New York, which is a real thing. There's a Gotham, New York. But yeah, so he goes off and tries to find his friend, and he uses his detective skills that he apparently still has, and he's like, there's blood on the steering, or his cab is completely deserted. There's blood on the steering wheel. Did his face get slammed into it? No, it looks like it got smashed over and over and over again.
Oh.
And he's like, okay, I need a weapon if I'm going to go fight these guys, even though I'm not a hero or anything, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And don't think about all the weapons that you just burnt in that bunker that you just burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
So he opens the trunk and he finds rope and a dirty rag and an empty Cheetos bag. So he's like, I guess I'm going with the rope. And he goes
Why not
to
the Cheetos bag? That can help you. You can cover it when you're cold.
So he goes and turns to leave to go find his friend, and who's there to stop him but Nightwing?
Ah, Nightwing, yes.
With a
Makes
gun.
perfect sense. With a gun?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
And that is...
Somebody didn't do their research.
Bat people don't use guns unless they're Red Hood.
Right.
Yeah.
But now he's not using a gun
Bat's
anymore.
real.
He's not a real bat person.
And Bruce Wayne
Bruce Wayne doesn't use a gun.
in Earth 2.
Shh. That's Bruce Wayne's dad. That's Thomas Wayne. That ain't Bruce Wayne.
Whatever Earth the DC universe
Shoot
is.
So yeah, that's where we end Nightwing number 52.
Yeah.
That was
Dude's
awesome.
got a lot going on. DC's got a major freaking let's fuck everyone up right now.
Yeah, it's sad. It makes me feel terrible.
All these writers are coming in like, guess what? What if we just don't kill the character, but we make their life a living hell before we kill the character?
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of with Nightwing, that they're just gonna stop it.
Oh, no,
And
hell no.
because Nightwing's dead, technically, except there's all
Right.
these new Nightwings, and Dick Grayson's not going by Dick Grayson anymore, it's RIC Grayson, and I don't know if that's ever gonna fix itself, because he doesn't want to be fixed.
Right. I dug how he was able to, or how his muscle memory activated, and he's able to take down